Hello YouTube. This is the loom shot of the watch we're looking at tonight. A Swiss Legend Challenger. Big watch. 50 millimeters. Big indices, as you can see. What you can't see, because it was out of the range of my solar watch charger, that's how I charge up the loom, is there's a little dot of loom on the triangle on the bezel, but you can't see that here. So you get a sense of how much loom is on this dial and on these hands. All right, lights on. Let's start with the box. It comes in a nice box. I always like it when the manufacturer cares enough to spend some time on the design. The color is good, for sure. And the box has an interesting shape. Sort of curved on one end. Inside the box was this pillow around which the watch came. The tag, red. This is their logo, by the way, the Swiss cross and some kind of shield. And manual, instruction manual and 5-year warranty. Okay, let's get back to the watch. Here it is. It's big. 50 millimeters. Now, I would not have bought a watch this big for myself. This is one of 4 watches in what I consider a win-win barter deal with my brother, Tom. He had 4 watches that were all quartz with dead batteries, and he's really an automatic movement kind of guy, not a quartz guy. And I had something he wanted, and we made a trade, and he sent me 4 watches. And this is there's another 50 millimeter. We'll get to that one later. You can see this. I think it's really well designed. I don't know where to start with my notes here. It's a big watch, 50 millimeters. It's 14.5 millimeters thick, and it weighs 152.4 grams. Now, from what I've learned, that's about right for a 50 millimeter sport diver. If, however, you were to go to a solid link bracelet, you could easily add another 100 grams to that. It's amazing, but a watch can get up to 250 grams. I really like the, let's call it a gunmetal gray color. And what little graphics are on this dial are in low contrast. It's not really a billboard. They didn't really gunk it up with a lot of... You see where it says date? Next to the date, I think that is so superfluous. So they don't need to say date. Here's the date. We know what that number is. I mean, really, that's the one thing I would take off this dial. Everything else is small, inobtrusive. They didn't turn the thing into a billboard, and I like that. Let's start with the bezel. You see that triangle on top? There is a blob of loom up there that just didn't get charged up when I did the loom shot. It is a 120 click unidirectional bezel. Great. Except this one is on the loose side. It is easy to, with a slight jar or bump, knock it out of alignment. So just something to keep in mind. It's not a deal killer. It has a screw down 2-position crown. And you can hack this. I have set it to my atomic Casio watch. It's got a crown guard, which I learned to look for. I think that's an important feature. And the crown, as I said, is signed with that sort of Swiss cross in the shield design. It has a Sapphitech crystal, which is clearly some trade name, some trademark for some kind of mineralized crystal. Sapphitech. It is dead flat, and it sticks up just a whisker above the top of the bezel. So what I'm saying is there's no metal rising above the crystal that gives it any protection. The crystal's out there, albeit flat. It's not domed or anything. The date complication is small. A Cyclops would have worked well here. I mean, for the massive size of this watch, they really scrimped on the date complication. Now, looking at this dial, you will notice double large indices at the 12, a single large indices at the 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock. What happened at 3 o'clock? Well, because of the date, they kept that index the same size as the others. So that's what I think they did. The numerals on the bezel are in tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And there isn't, look, there's no, can you get in there and see that? There's no chapter ring. But there is a steep wall in there, giving this watch depth that one could argue it really doesn't need. It doesn't need to be that thick. But, so there, you can argue for or against that. You can see it there now. No chapter ring, but a steep wall all the way around, making the crystal taller and the whole watch thicker. Now, lug width. Boy, this is a weird thing. Now, someone would normally measure the lug width from here to here, as if you were sticking in a strap or a bracelet. Well, because of that lug in the middle, any lug width dimension is silly. I'm not even going to give it to you. But I will say this, that this triple lug is exactly what I had on, and all the Invicta DNA series have the exact same thing with the exact same kind of strap. It's a rubber strap. It's got two keepers, big, wide, metal, buckle, Swiss legend on it. Very neat, not weird. Let's look at the back case. Swiss legend Challenger, there's a bunch of numbers, water resistant to 200 meters, and that's where it says Swiss made movement. I don't think the watch is made in Switzerland or even assembled there. And that's where I learned this word, Sapphotech crystal, stainless steel case, screw down. Now, check my notes. I think I got everything. The dial has no numerals. Did I say that? No numerals, just these big giant indices. Boy, it looks like I covered it all. Now, this is big. I would not have bought a watch this big, but you know, I have come a long way in my thinking about large watches because you've heard me say that 42, 43 is really my sweet spot. And yet, I've experienced, I'm going to put this on the way I wear it, and that is upside down, as some of you know. When you have a watch this big, on the underside of your wrist, it's just, if it were up here, it would be this big, thick watch that everybody can see. But when I carry, and I've done this since I was 7 years old when I first watched, because my father carried his watches like this. When I wear it down here, even though it's big, it doesn't seem as clunky, as top-heavy. If you walk with your hands at your sides or work with your hands like this, it's more discreetly worn, discreetly carried. It's not this big, obnoxious thing out in everybody's face. So I'm able to eat my own words and realize that, yeah, I can live with a larger watch because it works for me because I carry it in this position. I would probably not enjoy it up here. This is a personal thing. It's just me, guys. I'm not telling you how to wear your watches. This is how I've always worn them. And I think these bigger watches carry, try it. Just turn it upside down once. I think the bigger watches carry particularly better in this position. All right, that's all I got. Thanks to my brother Tom. There are 3 more that he sent me. We will be getting to those. They all need batteries. You get a sense of how tiny in this view that date complication really is. And they didn't need to say date in front of it. That was silly. Other than that, I'm happy to have this. And I want to thank my brother Tom again for a bargain well played out. All right, everybody, take good care. God bless you. I love you all. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.